Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is yet another laid-back conversation between Marisabel and I. We've had a lot of stuff going on, and the whole purpose of today's episode is going to be to go over the bucket list, which we covered in a previous episode. I'll tell you what, she ain't doing so good.
Hey, okay.
We've been slacking, honestly, on the bucket list, but it's kind of like things have been exchanged. You know, we're doing other things
instead
of what we had originally planned. We're still going to get to some things like the Austin trip, which we will get into. We have yet to go on that. That got like rescheduled 3 times.
Okay, no, it was like 2. It was 2 times.
It was 2 times, yeah. Because we were like, okay, we're going to do this. And then we were like, no, we'll do that. And then it's like we forgot about it. And then I was like, oh, we're still good to go. And then it ended up not being able to work out because it was kind of too last minute. But I think before we even get into that,
we actually have a really big announcement.
Huge announcement, in fact.
And do you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
Go for it. This is your future sister-in-law.
Okay, that's so funny. I totally forgot what I was going to say now that you said that. Hello, Erica. Our biggest fan.
Our biggest fan.
We would just like to say hello, and we
Yes.
appreciate you and all of your comments that you gave this last Sunday.
Yes.
Which by the time you listen to this, I guess it'll be a few Sundays past.
Yeah. But, I mean, shout out to you. I mean, I know you've been listening since day 1. Been following us since day 0. You've been just always interacting with our content. You know what I mean? I couldn't ask for a bigger fan, honestly.
Honestly. And Richard, my brother,
Oh, yes.
if you're out there, we would also just like to acknowledge you.
Yes.
Maybe our second biggest fan, but nowhere compared to Erica.
Nowhere compared to Erica. I mean, I feel so incredibly proud right now to know that we have someone like her listening to our podcast.
Exactly what I was thinking, honey.
Yep. I mean, I'm at a loss for words right now.
All right, but to move past that, we're actually going to get into what we have done for our bucket list. And do you want to talk about, like, personally what we've done? Or...
I don't even remember what we talked about on the bucket list.
So I only remember one thing that I said I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I'm almost there. But then I also think you mentioned getting a internship.
Oh, yeah. And that got secured. I work for an advertising and business management firm. To put it shortly, there's other stuff that we do, but it's I guess it can be kind of a long title. It's been a lot of work. I'll tell you what, it was a shift from dashing for sure. I mean, even going from HEB to dashing was different, right? And then going from dashing to this, it's an upscale in responsibility and how much it is that I'm doing. And I mean, I'm learning as I'm going, and so is the company that I'm working for is, fairly new. And so we're all learning as we're going, but it's been a really great experience. And for those of you who are wondering what it's called Bald Eagle Resources, LLC. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
TikTok too?
Yeah, we are.
I did not know about that.
There's like some videos on there, but it's going pretty good. It's really cool. I'm learning a lot. The way that I got introduced to this internship was actually through our life group leader at the life group that we go to. I think we discussed the life group last episode, and so really cool that she introduced me to this and gave me this opportunity. And pretty soon here, I'm going to be submitting my 1099, so then I'll start getting paid.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So that's hype. I'm excited for that. But no, it's been really fun. I've been really enjoying it, and I think when school starts, I'll be able to manage this a lot better than showing up to a physical location, because this is all working from home. And so it is still kind of up to me to make my schedule, which I do enjoy. It is
Mm-hmm.
similar to like with dashing, I made my own schedule, but in this way, it's more so like I know how much work I have to do, and it's just up to me to figure out, okay, well, can I crunch that into an hour? Can I spread that across, a few hours or four? And then figuring out, okay, when does that fit in? Like, should I spread out? Should I just go straight, like 4 hours straight, or do an hour in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, an hour at night? And so there's a lot of flexibility, which I do appreciate. And I'm just excited to see where it goes, honestly. Most of all to get paid, because your boy hasn't gotten paid because I haven't been dashing. I've just been working on this, just going full speed ahead. And it's been great. And I hope my efforts are recognized.
No, yeah, most definitely. Today they had a meeting, and I was actually in the same room because Julian and I were hanging out. And so while he was
Yeah.
doing his meeting, I heard like all of his little talking points, and they were so cute.
No
Like
way.
you made really good points though.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's so good. And I don't know, I thought you were recognized, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I am. It's just kind of like, I hope this, I think, I know it will take me somewhere. It's just because I made a LinkedIn profile too. Shit, I got hired and I was like, I made a Facebook page.
That was funny.
I swore up and down that I was never going to make a Facebook. And then the CEO of the company, the life group leader, she was like, you should probably make a Facebook and you should probably make a LinkedIn, put your LinkedIn account on the Facebook, because I guarantee you if you do that, you'll get like more job offers, or people will contact you more. And it has been happening. I'm not even lying. I've been forgetting to tell you that what is it? I've had people in the finance and real estate what do you call it? Like workspace, and they've contacted me by email or on Facebook Messenger, and they've been like, "Hey, I see that you're friends with Desiree, right?" Or they're like, "I saw, like that you're going to UTSA, because on my Facebook profile I have that I'm going to UTSA, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "If you're ever looking for a job by the time graduation comes around, feel free to hit us up, or even during school, we'd love to take you in at any point." So I'm already getting all of these offers. Or like one of the guys at the church is a real estate agent, and he hit me up, and he was that one that was like, "Hey, nice to meet you. We should play basketball sometime."
Oh yeah, I remember.
He was a real estate agent, and he hit me up and he was like, "Hey, what is it?" For one, I don't remember if he said he listened to the podcast or if he said that he saw that I was going to UTSA for real estate. No, that's what it was. He saw that I was going to UTSA for real estate and finance, and he was like, "If you ever have a buying or selling opportunity, hit me up. We can definitely collab on it." And I was like, "No way, that's crazy." And I was like, "For sure, man." I was like, at the moment, I'm still learning everything, but if an opportunity comes up, I'm for sure gonna remember you, man. And so it's pretty cool. Or even another thing that happened. Y'all make sure to go listen to the San Antonio Podcast Network, especially our episode that we were featured on. And
Oh yeah, it did come out already,
it
right?
did, and it was pretty good. I could tell like when he edited, not like flacking on his editing. Like it was really good editing. I could just tell because I knew like,
Because we had that conversation.
yeah, because we had that conversation. I was like, there was definitely a pause there. So he would like cut out those pauses, which made the conversation flow even better. And so props to him. His editing style is, very good. I really enjoyed his editing style and the way that he presented us at the beginning and at the end.
Oh, that was so like crazy to hear. Like not like our story, but like what we're doing and all of that right now. He was like, "Oh, like Julian goes to UTSA," and then he was like, "Oh, Marissa goes to St. Mary's," and like said what we were studying for and all of that. And then like even that you moved, and then I didn't move, right? So that's crazy, like that he gave backstories.
Yeah, because he had called me. It was a day before the episode was coming out, and he was like, "Everything's all edited, but I still need to record my intro and my outro," which he does separately, right? And he had actually called me Yeah, the day before, and was like, I never got y'all's information to introduce y'all properly. And so we had a little chat just about what's been going on, with us. And then he asked me about that, and he was like, awesome, I think that's all I need. And it was a really solid episode. Like, I listened to his episodes before, and I guess because it was us on the podcast, it's like I was paying attention more. Because that's usually how,
Yeah.
like, let me tell you how I listen to podcasts. Other podcasts, I'll play, like, if I'm cleaning, or if I'm, doing laundry or some sort of chores, or if I'm driving long distances by myself, I like to put on a podcast because it makes me feel like there's somebody there. But
yeah, it's like background noise.
Yeah, it is. And so, like, I'll listen, but a lot of the times it's kind of going on in the background, like subconsciously I'm listening to it. But whenever I listen to our episodes, or in this case, when I was listening to this episode of us on his podcast, I was very tentative to hear, how does our audio sound? Because we weren't using this setup for that. We were using the Blue Yeti microphone, but it doesn't sound the same as when we had used it when we were recording, because we would have it in the middle between us, and then we'd be on either side with knees touching in order to get good sounding audio out of it, because it's really just a one person microphone in the sense of podcasting. I mean, you can turn up the gain all the way, but then you'd be hearing like my breath as I'm breathing, or you'd be hearing little stuff here and there, like these movements that I'm making. And that's the great thing about these mics, that I can make little movements here and there, and you won't really hear them. You might, but it not nearly as much as the Blue Yeti mic. I mean, it'd be crazy. Like, my dog downstairs could fart, and you probably would have heard it with the Blue Yeti mic. I mean, that's how insane the gain was. And but yeah, so it sounded pretty good. I'm gonna assume he edited our audio in some way to make it a little more crisper, or maybe even louder, because I feel like the gain wasn't as high as it probably could have been. But I mean, we're still trying to figure it out, because I didn't want to use this setup, because with this setup we record in stereo mode. I'm on the left ear, Marisabel is the right ear, and then in post I actually split the track into 2 mono tracks. That way both of our voices come out in stereo. That way we're both on the right and left as individual lines of audio, so I can edit them individually. And so I wasn't sure if they were gonna have that capability on their end. Like, if I send the audio, are they gonna be able to do that? Because everybody uses different recording software. And so I was like, you know what, we better just use the Blue Yeti. That way we won't give him such a big hassle on editing. And I think it turned out great. I mean, it was good. Y'all should really go check it out.
I listened to it. Oh, well, I started listening to it before we listened to it together, but hearing it in the car made it sound so different.
Oh yeah, it does sound way different in the car. It's like surround sound.
I like it. I honestly can't tell if I like it more in the car or on my headphones, but they just give different feels. But I definitely thought we sounded good.
Yeah, it was a solid episode. I think, man, after we got done recording, I was like, man, that was pretty good. And then leading up to its release date, I was like, man, was it good though? Like, I was trying to remember, and I completely forgot that I had a backup recording on my computer.
You could have just
listened to it and been like, okay, yeah, now I remember. But I completely had forgotten what we talked about. Like, I knew like kind of some talking points, but I forgot. So
yeah, well, obviously not everything that you said. So.
Yeah. Like, he cut some stuff out, which is understandable. I mean, I don't know.
We did talk for a while, now that I think about it.
We did, and then
after we got into that groove of talking.
Yeah, I think there was some stuff that we repeated of each other too. So I don't know. It was a really solid episode. Y'all should go check it out. It's San Antonio Podcast Network on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you'll find us tagged there as well. Oh, and another thing, we made a Facebook.
Oh yeah, okay. That happened about 2 days ago, right?
Yeah.
Or was it yesterday?
I made a Facebook page. So using my personal Facebook, because I saw, and I was like, man, I couldn't make just a Facebook page for the podcast, because it was like, you need to use your legal name, and I was like, what? But then I was like, well, let me make a Facebook page, and I guess it's like,
it's just connected.
It's connected. It's like under my account, but then it's its own page. And there I was able to distinguish it's a podcast. This is the title of it and all that. And Pretty solid. We got like 2 posts on there. We just kind of picked. It's kind of like with our Twitter because we started with Instagram and then we went over to Twitter and we just kind of picked up where we left off. So on our Instagram, you can see all the way from the trailer of our podcast
Oh
up
yeah,
to
when our
the
feed
present
was
day.
yeah.
But on Twitter, it starts at like episode 5 or 7 or something like that. And then now on Facebook, it's starting at episode 16 whenever this is released. And so pretty crazy that they're gonna look through it and be like, where's the rest? And it's like, we started on Instagram and then we went to Twitter and now we're here. But it's cool we have all 3.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about because at first we were just like, oh, let's just have an Instagram, and that's all we focused on. And then we were like, oh well, you know what? Let's get a Twitter too because people are on Twitter. And then it was like, now we're on Facebook. So crazy to see how that worked out.
Yep, and we're doing pretty good. Not gonna lie. But yeah, back to some more bucket list items. What you said. You were almost reaching. Was it the reading goal? Was that it?
Oh yeah, I think that was like that was the main goal
Like
that I wanted to
your
finish.
personal one, your
Yeah,
personal
personal.
bucket list
Mm-hmm.
item.
I
to check
can't
off.
remember if I mentioned it. I feel like I might have, but I don't really remember whenever we recorded. But I've read 2 out of 3 books, and the 3rd book is actually a little more than half, and it is hella long. So I'm very proud of myself.
It's a huge book, and apparently it's pretty good. You've been getting pretty emotionally invested in it because you read it at night, right, before you go to bed.
Yeah, just so I can like get tired.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, you told me. You said that you cried, right?
Oh yeah, that was last night.
That's great. I've never cried from a book.
Well, me either. So
Really?
yesterday was the first time.
Oh my god.
And I was like, why am I so emotionally attached to these characters I don't know? I literally can't see. They're in my head.
Yeah.
And I got so attached to them. And yeah, why did I just forget the title of this book? Anyways, I don't want to like spoil it or anything. But it's like a romance novel.
Yeah.
And the guy can travel back in time. And he falls in love with the girl from, I think it's 1965. And he's from 2011.
That's crazy.
And so his main goal was to never like talk to anyone in 1965 because he got stuck there. And then he met her and they fell in love. And now he like travels back and forth between like his present day and then back to 1965. And it was like hard on them and their relationship because the first time they were separated, it was like not their plan. So she was like devastated. You know, in Twilight, I forget which one it is, but like Edward leaves.
What? Wait, Edward. Oh, is it?
I feel like it's New Moon.
It's New Moon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and
that's when he
she's
was
like-
gonna like reveal himself, right?
Yeah. And he leaves, right?
Yeah.
And she can't do anything about it. Well, it's kind of like that. And then she like went into a depressive state.
My gosh.
But this girl is like crazy. Not like crazy in a bad way,
Yeah.
but like she's very independent.
Yeah.
So whenever that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, like what just happened to her?
It was like raps.
Okay, not raps, but she was in like a pretty sad state. And I guess that's what I was picturing whenever I was reading it.
Oh
And
my,
I was
just
like,
Bella.
no, not again.
That scene was funny. Oh my gosh.
Okay, it is funny now, but when I was like 8 or something.
Those
like,
movies are
that was
so
funny.
cheesy. I didn't, because I had watched only the first movie, and then when we watched them, like a year ago almost, or it was like half a year ago, when we watched all of them finally, because I had never seen past the first one. I was like, man, I remember these being more of a drama, but these are like super cheesy.
I was so invested.
I know you were.
I'm still invested.
You're crazy. Oh
On
my
TikTok,
gosh.
I saw a video about it and
Yeah.
how the first movie, it was supposed to be like one and done because they didn't think anyone was going to really watch it.
Oh my gosh.
And then they ended up like making all these
It
movies.
became this Team Edward, Team Jacob.
Yeah. And then apparently, what's his name who plays Edward? Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
He almost got fired because the directors were like, you need to smile more. And he was like, I feel like I don't. Like, that's not really the character, right? And so they highlighted all the spots that he needed to smile. And he highlighted all the spots that he was, like, gloomy or whatever. And I guess they got really upset about that and almost fired him.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how true that is. I heard it on TikTok.
It would have been.
But I believe it.
He rarely smiles in the movies, but that's like his character. It felt like, you know what
Exactly.
I mean? It was like he would smirk. He never smiled. That would have been out of character for him. You know what I mean? Jacob was the one who'd smile. He'd be all like, you know, trying to entice Bella, and I'm like, bruh. It's crazy. You know, he was like 15 in those movies. He
That
was
is
jacked
crazy.
as shit. He looked so old. Like, where these freaking genetically modified human beings, man. Even now in our high schools, holy shit, there's like men in high school and like
They're
these
pretty scary.
grown ass women. And I'm like, bro, I look like a child compared to you. I'm a sophomore in college. But yeah, no, it's crazy.
You know what you got me thinking about when you're talking about Jacob?
Yeah, what?
Man, I forget the exact line it is.
No way.
But he's like, Bella, where have you been, Loca? And I can't like unhear that.
Where have you been, Loca?
There
there were some cringy ass lines in that
says,
movie.
and he says it like that too.
All those movies had some cringy ass lines.
It's just so funny to
the
me.
The Loch Ness Monster one. It was like, Nessie wouldn't like that or some shit like that.
Like,
and then,
you named my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster. Then she goes like on a rant like, I haven't even held her or something like that. Yeah. It's just funny.
That was crazy. That was funny. Crazy movies, honestly. Okay, but damn, what else have we done? Let's move on to the Austin trip. So, Austin trip. It's still happening. Probably going to do it this coming Saturday at the time of this recording. And we'll update y'all. We'll post on Instagram and let y'all know how that's going. So make sure to follow up with that. But I'm excited. Are you excited?
I am. We were planning to go during the week, but it got busy.
Yeah.
So now we're going on the weekend, and I feel like there might be a lot of people there, but I'm still really excited.
Yeah, it should be fun. This is going to be like the first that we've ever gone together.
Oh, yeah, like by ourselves.
Yeah, because I mean, we've gone to Buc-ee's, but that was, what, like an hour out?
I think it's like an hour and a half, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. So this is going to be even further, and I'm hyped. I think it should be really fun. We're going to leave early in the morning and then come back around dinner time. And so we'll be out pretty much all day. So it should be fun, just me and you chilling in Austin.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I actually went with my parents a few months ago, I think. And we took our dog.
Oh, yeah,
and I only
yeah.
didn't like it because of that experience.
Oh, my gosh. He wasn't that bad. Was he that bad?
Okay, he wasn't horrible, but it's kind of like we couldn't do a lot of things because we had to bring him.
I mean, you didn't have to bring him.
Okay, yes, we did not have to bring him. But my mom didn't want to leave him in our room.
Yeah.
Which I understand, but I also didn't agree with. And yes, so that's where it made it difficult because we couldn't eat in certain places. And Austin is very like pet friendly.
Yeah.
But there were still a lot of restaurants where they were indoors. And not like we were going to eat indoors, we wanted to eat on the patio and stuff. But because all the tables outside were taken for obvious reasons, like no one really wants to eat indoors with a lot of people around them, it was like taking longer to get seated, which isn't like that big of a, oh my gosh, that big of a deal. I said bag of a deal. But it's kind of like, it was just for the whole trip. So after a while, it kind of just became tiring.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, my dog Scout does not like other dogs. He's not social. I feel like it's because he's so little. He just wants to bark at everybody or like all the dogs. And when you're hungry and tired, it kind of makes you a little upset, if I say so myself.
You're easily irritated?
Yes, very much when I'm hungry and tired. And so it just wasn't helping that he was barking for like 20 minutes every time we would sit down somewhere new. And it also like made me feel like more upset because like other people are around us. Like I don't want to disrupt them.
Yeah.
And that's why I really wanted to leave him in the hotel room. It was literally going to be just for a dinner, like hour or two maximum. And my mom still didn't want to leave him. And I was like, please, like it's just one time. It's an hour maximum too. And she was like, no. And me and my dad were like, yes. And my sister and mom were like, no. And I was like, No
Oh
way.
my gosh. Well,
So we took him. I mean, it was okay. It was fine. Like, I'm just being dramatic.
yeah.
But during those times of like eating and stuff, when you're hungry, it wasn't a good time. And we'd never taken a dog before out with us on a trip. And
It was a learning experience.
it was a learning experience. I also carried him a lot.
Hmm.
And I was like, why am I carrying him when I didn't want to bring him?
Oh my gosh.
And don't get me wrong, I love my dog. But I know his attitude.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I was already aware of what was going to happen. And then it did end up happening. I was like, see, guys, like, if we could have just thought about this before.
Oh my gosh.
But now we know. And everyone was like, yeah, we're never taking him again. So at least we tried it.
I mean, you never know.
Maybe when he's older and
Well,
have
yeah.
experienced more dogs.
Yeah, he needs to get out and just socialize more. My Theo commented on that because I was not like specifically about Scout, but like it must be a small dog thing because when I took my parents went to Vegas this last weekend, and so I went with, it was me, my brother, my grandma, and then the dogs. We went to my tia's house because it was her mother-in-law's birthday, and so we were celebrating that, and they have their own dog, little Jack Russell Terrier. His name is Jack, and he's not very keen to other dogs, like at all, especially bigger ones. And I mean, Flaco, he doesn't really like, but he's not like, super mean to. But man, Chewy, he hates Chewy.
Man, I feel like Chewy is always getting bullied by other dogs, and
Really,
it makes me sad.
He really is. Like other bigger dogs, like him and Luke get along pretty fine. But man, for some reason, like little dogs just aren't really fans of Chewy. Like Scout, honestly, like I knew he was gonna be afraid of him at first, but now it's like he just doesn't like him, and I'm like,
Yeah,
why?
I honestly thought they were gonna get along,
Yeah.
and no, Scout really likes Flaco though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna take time. Chewy doesn't like dislike Scout. He's trying to sniff him a lot, or he wants to like be where he's at. But
Yeah,
Scout's not a fan.
that might be where it kind of ticks him off because he's like, "This is my space."
Yeah, because he gets like super territorial whenever he gets on furniture, and then my dogs aren't allowed on furniture, but they can sit by the furniture, put their head on it or whatever. It's like nope. And man, Scout scratched Chewy that last time, and I was like, bro, he was going crazy on Chewy. But it's all right.
A little brat, I will say.
And it's all right. We're gonna have a play date tomorrow. So
They are. They get along better at my house for some reason.
Well, yeah, because it's like his own territory.
I guess you're right.
So he feels more dominant in there. So I'm gonna bring my dogs over tomorrow, and we'll see how he does. I think they'll have a good time. We'll take them on a little walk. They'll chill.
Yeah, I will say they've gotten better.
Yeah.
Especially from the beginning. I don't know. I just thought they were gonna be like best friends at this point, and that doesn't look like it's happening.
They rarely see each other because I'm always
right,
like, you want to take him or you want him, and you're like, no, I don't want to deal with that. And I'm like, baby.
Well, because I feel like he disrupts everybody. Like if I'm not paying attention to him, like if we're having dinner with your family, he won't bark at me, but when he was little, he would bark at me. And so because he did that all the time, I was just like, I don't want to disrupt your family and have him there because I want to smack him. I don't like beat him, but it's kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like the way I'm talking, people are going to think I'm like the worst owner ever.
No,
it's not true. It's just we're talking about the little annoying parts right now.
Yeah, we're talking about the bad times, the few bad times.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just don't want to disrupt anyone. That's like my big thing. And he's very needy. So it's like with Chewy and Flaco, they can just hang out outside and we'll be in like the living room or something, right?
Yeah.
Not Scout. He needs to be like at my hip bone or on me.
He's a quarantine dog. He's never like he'll be alone, but he really doesn't like it.
Yeah, and I take that into consideration. I just really wish like if he would see another dog, like some that he fairly knows, like he would be like, oh, like I don't get any other dog time. Let me get that right now. And he's not social, and kind of makes me sad because I want him to have some friends.
Oh no, he'll get there. We just need to like hang out more, and it has to be more than once a week, honestly. You need to do it like 2 or 3 times a week. You know, even if they just walk together, but he just needs to get used to like the presence of other dogs. Like during the walks, he seems to do fine. He does get upset when he's behind them, but I mean, if he's like kind of with them, he's chilling.
Oh, he doesn't want to be left behind.
Maybe it could be it. Yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot of different like dog behaviors that I guess you could analyze. It's like maybe it is because he doesn't want to get left behind, or maybe it's because he wants to lead.
He wants to feel
I
like
don't
the
really know.
big dog.
I mean, maybe he's huge, man. He's massive.
Oh yeah, all his little muscles.
His muscles. He's like bony.
I know his muscles, his stomach.
His stomach. That's the only like squish on him.
I know. I laid on his back today. And
It's just spine.
it was just fine.
Oh no.
And I was like, Scout, turn over. And he didn't want to. He just wanted to keep nibbling on his ball. And today I was laying on the floor with him, and all he wanted to do was play or like bother me. And I was like, I love you, but I just want to cuddle with you right now. But it's cool. We played, had a nice time.
Yeah.
He got a little tired, and whenever I took a nap, he took a nap as well. So I will say I did my job with that.
That's pretty crazy. You know, that's something that I was thinking about too. I was like, Flaco, my pug, very much is a lap dog. And there was that when we were having our floor pulled out, he would come upstairs pretty frequently. And what do you call it? He hopped in the bed with us a couple times. Then he hopped in the bed with me and Chewy too. And so I don't let them on my bed anymore, but I very much do think that Flaco could sleep in the bed and he could be on the couch and like, you know, be a lap dog and chill. Chewy, on the other hand, he can't. He gets too, I don't know how you, like, not aggressive. I mean, he kind of gets aggressive, but he's like, just becomes an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm giving over my dominance the instant he hops on a piece of furniture. And so I'm like, you cannot get on furniture. You need to stay on the floor. And I mean, I don't let either of them, me and my family, they're on the floor or they're on their beds. Whichever one, but they're not allowed on furniture. They don't sleep with us or anything. They sleep in their own kennels. And it's like, I don't know. I was really open to it, but then I was like, no, I don't really dig this. And then it was also because just of all the fur. There's a lot of fur. Like, that's the cool thing about Scout, that he doesn't shed, but damn, these dogs shed, especially my pug.
I did notice that because one time you were asleep and we were going to go to the gym. So I drove over here because I was like, oh, like, let me wake him up or whatever, right? Because I wasn't sure if, like, your phone had died or whatever, because sometimes it does at night. And I came and your mom let me, and she was like, oh, he's upstairs. But she was working.
Yeah.
And this is when, like, the dogs were allowed upstairs and stuff. And I walk in, and Julian's literally, like, sandwiched between Chewy and Flaco. And honestly, it was the cutest thing ever. And you were, like, happy when you woke up. But then they left, and you saw the fur, and you were like, oh, my gosh. Like, you just were not having it. And I was like, he's never going to let them sleep with him again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they enjoyed it, but no, Chewy can be a butthole sometimes whenever I kind of give him leeway. And so I'm like, man, bro, like, I want to give you leeway, but it's like, I just got to be strict with this, man.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before, where it's like Chewy and Scout, they've never lived, like, you know, the hard life, where Flaco was on the streets, like, no owner, no food given to him, like, no nothing.
Yeah. He's so appreciative. Like,
right?
I just, like, see it. And, like, in his actions, I'm like, he's just like, thank you, Massa.
He's also just so, like, photogenic. I love him. He's so cute.
He's pretty cute. Yeah, they're chilling downstairs right now. But man, we really got off topic there. What other bucket list items?
We were gonna go shopping at La Cantera.
Oh yeah, that also got pushed back.
Yes.
It's just everything's just getting pushed back.
We've just had so many things like come.
Yeah. I mean, it was, you know, good things. A lot of stuff that.
No, like, it's fun. And I think we're doing like, I don't know. It's just fun. And we're having a nice time and all of that. It's just, we didn't know, like, where to put these other things after. So it's kind of like now we got pushed back. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. We're going to go shopping on tax-free weekend. hype for that.
I think we're going on the Friday, I believe.
Or no, we'll see. Whichever day that you don't go with your friends.
Oh, yeah, because we were supposed to go shopping this weekend, but something came up, so we were like, oh, like we'll push it to next weekend. And I totally forgot next weekend was the last weekend of July when we're recording this.
Absolutely insane that we're already there. But
you look so funny when you said that. You're like, when we're already there. And your like eyelids went up. It was so cute.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the gist of the bucket list. There was one more thing that we wanted to get into.
Oh, this one's like, it's funny.
But also heated.
Yes. And we were talking about this yesterday.
Tell you what. I don't know.
Man, we're trying to say this in the most respectful way. Also, just wanted to put that out there.
Cap, bruh.
Okay, I am. Julian's going all in.
These customers, bruh. Where is this sense of entitlement that y'all get? Marissa works at Chipotle. She's telling me these stories about customers coming in just being absolute assholes to her. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
And it's not even like it's everybody. It's literally one person a day.
Yeah, it's not all the time. I should clarify that. But the ones that do come in, this sense of entitlement that they have, this sense of superiority that they have over the people that work at Chipotle or like any part-time job, it's disgusting and it's honestly annoying. It makes me so angry. It's
really crazy because my friend, she actually worked at Chipotle a lot earlier than me, and she was like, oh, they're so entitled. And I thought she was just like playing. Oh my gosh, she was not playing. I'm the cashier at Chipotle, and I don't know, somewhere in between them ordering their food and like getting it made for them, and then to me, like something happens because they were not angry before. And so I've been trying to change like my tone of voice. I was like, oh, like maybe they just can't tell. And no, like I'm even like enunciating more things or like making my voice higher, and it does not help, guys. Like I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's just crazy because I don't know, I feel like it gets worse as the week goes on. Like these people just get more like maybe they get agitated more, like something's happening at their jobs or whatever, and so they're like, oh, let me just let this out real quick, like it's not that big of a deal, or they don't even notice, right? And it's crazy because some people like demand things from me, and it just throws me off because I'm like, no one's ever like demanded me to do something the way that these people have. Like people will ask me like, oh, hey, could you do this, right? But it's not like, go do that. And I'm like, oh, like,
I know you told me that happened. I was like, oh my gosh, bro. If I was there, I would have just, man, I would have been so upset. I would have cussed that lady out on the spot and been like, this sense of entitlement that you have needs to go straight up your ass, and you need to get the fuck out of here. Okay, or else I'm going to cause a scene and I'm going to jail because I'm about to kill you right now if you don't get out of here. Like just straight getting upset at her. Just some intimidating shit. Probably not that bad, but I think I would have been like, you need to get out of here because you're being an asshole right now. And everybody here is looking at you and you're embarrassing yourself. Just start like just making her feel like shit. Like that's how you get people to leave. Don't do that shit. Tell her that you're going to kill her.
Julian was just being dramatic.
That's a ticket to jail. But yeah, no, just start shitting on the person for real, man. Because that's embarrassing. They're embarrassing themselves, but they're also making the people that they're acting like that towards just feel like shit. Because I know that I felt like shit whenever people would tell me stuff when, you know, I'm not in the wrong. Just right now, you reminded me of a time. I was at HEB, and then this lady and her daughter comes up. And, you know, I ring up. I don't instantly say like, hey, how's your day? Or I'm like, hey, how's your day? Welcome. Anything else I can take care of for you today? You know, any stamps or anything like that? You know, I go through the whole spiel.
Yeah.
And so it was a long day. It was almost the end of my shift. This lady and her daughter comes up, and I'm like, hey. And I just say hey, right? And, you know, I'm going to finish the rest of the greeting, you know, once I start getting the scanning going. You know, I get the scanning going, and then I'm talking as I'm scanning. And she's like, all right, first of all, I'm going to need you to put that attitude at a 0. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And she's like, I don't need that shit right now. All right. When you're talking to me with respect. All right. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then like, I'm looking at the daughter, like, is this your mom? Like, can you tell her to stop, man? Like I'm doing my, like, and then She's like, you don't even greet me. Like, you need to greet me, all right? And I'm like, what the She was like, you work at HEB. I know HEB, all right? HEB does not, what you're displaying right now is not HEB. You'd be lucky that I don't get your manager. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? I was like, I was getting so heated inside. That was right before I had to take like a month off of HEB because I was so heated. I was like, the next customer that pisses me off is going to get punched. And I was being dead ass. And I was like, no, I need to take a month off because this shit is actually pissing me off to the point of like something's going to happen and it's not good. And so that lady, like, she was like one of the last straws. And I was like, I wasn't just going to take that shit. And I was like, well, ma'am, I was going to start saying my introduction if you would have given me a chance. I apologize if I came off wrong. I'm going to continue to ring up your groceries now. And I was just silent the rest. Like, she was like, all right, you have a good day. And I just nodded at her. I was like, I'm not going to fucking talk to you anymore, bro. Like, you're going to be disrespectful to me. Like, I don't, at the time I was like 17 or no, I was 18. I was 18 and I'm like, I'm not going to take that shit just because you're older than me. You know what I mean? Or just because you're, in a different occupation that's not part-time. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't mean you can talk shit to people. Like, and it's not even me, like, I'm demanding respect. It's because I know that the more that, like, people just let that shit slide, especially managers. Managers need to step their shit up. Like, the whole, like, customers are top priority. Like, yes, I do believe that we need to take care of customers, when working in, like, a customer service sort of job. But, man, at a certain point, you got to draw the line. Because that shit is mentally draining. And it honestly just kind of reflects the stance of the company. Like, you only go so far for your workers. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to put up with that. Like, you shouldn't. Because that's just going to lead to more and more problems like that. I mean, maybe she was having a bad day. And that's what I had to think about. That's why I didn't get upset. That's, like, kind of what I run through in my mind. I'm like, she's probably having a shitty day. Maybe people have been disrespecting her. And so she's then putting that onto me. And that's kind of like in the case of what you're going through probably. All the people that are coming in and being assholes to you probably are having a shitty day or something.
Yeah, and I also think they're probably hungry.
That's probably what it is. They're hangry, man. But
yeah.
Still, these are grown-ass adults. And we're not even 20 yet. And that's embarrassing. That they can't act their age and be mature. You know what I mean? If you have a problem with your order, if you have a problem with whatever it is that you're there at that establishment for, you can kindly bring it up. You can, I rarely, if there's a problem with something that I buy, I rarely address it. I'll just kind of be like, all right. But when I do, I'm so sorry, but like, I ordered this. Is it possible that you could remake? And I always try and put it as nicely as I possibly can, because I know if I'm on the other end, like, if I was on the other end, I wouldn't want people to be upset at me. You know what I mean? Especially if it's something that I can't control. Like, people would get upset at us for not having stuff in stock. And I'm like, why are you getting upset at me? Like, I'm a part-time worker here. I don't even control, like, the distribution of stock. I just ring up stuff. I just tally your total and check you out,
Yeah. And I feel like that might also be why they get more upset at me or more agitated and stuff, more attitude, because they see the price of everything that they ordered. And I don't know. And some people, like, make comments like, damn, it's that much for a bowl. And I'm like, oh, yes, so we charge extra for guac, and we also charge extra for queso, or, like, if you get double meat or double, like, any protein.
Yeah.
And they don't know that. I mean, it's like, I think it's on the menu. I haven't really looked at the menu.
Yeah, it's on the menu.
But
it shows that they charge extra for. It's like plus $2.50 for guac.
Yeah, and so, man, how do you know that? Like, I was just trying to think of what it was.
I pay attention.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, so they'll, like, get upset at the end because of how much it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's understandable because, like, you wouldn't expect that because I guess, it kind of is a fast food chain. But I mean, the price is on there and I can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why are you getting, like, more upset at me? Because they'll even bring it up like, well, can't you do something about that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, this is how much it costs.
Yeah, it's like the price is the price. And fuck, it's so annoying.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, it's really just whenever I have like one rude customer, and it might be like one or two throughout my entire shift, and I just think this is the one for today. Like once I
Yeah.
get past this, like we're all good. And so I try and talk to them really nicely because I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's going on like with you. And I feel like that's why I stay so calm, because literally like my first 2 days, and it was like the second day or third day that I closed, right?
Yeah.
And some really like this really tall, like not like buff but like big guy, like started to yell at me, and his eyes were like hella red.
Oh my
And we were
gosh.
not even that far apart because he was like, he just started yelling his name at me. And I was like, I feel like he might be here for an online order. I wasn't too sure, right? Because I was still
Yeah.
new. And I was like, oh, do you have an online order? And he was like, he just repeated his name. And I was like, okay, I guess that was my answer.
Like, this dude is high,
And
bro. What is happening?
and so I was like, oh, okay, so just so you're informed, like we have our online orders over here and you can look at them by your name so you don't have to wait in line or anything, right?
Yeah.
At the time, we didn't have a line though. Like there was literally no one in the store. I think it was like 9:30.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just very thrown off because he started like yelling at me, like that I was being disrespectful and rude and stuff. And my manager did step in. He was like, he felt bad, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, dang. Like it didn't affect me because I was like so thrown off, I think. Like I was in shock. Like that just happened. Because even some girl that I was working with, I totally forgot her name. But she was like, did that really just happen right now? And I was like, I mean, I guess so. Like, did you like see what I saw? Like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy because afterwards I'm like, damn, that really just happened right now. Like,
Yeah.
why did people get upset at me for something? Like, not just that instance, but like other ones. And in the end, I just laugh about it. Like after my shift when I talk about it, because I'm like, oh, thank God. Like I made it out there. I made it another day. But yeah, so whenever I deal with rude customers, I'm kind of like, this is the one for today. Or this is like the 1 out of 3, right? Because my shifts are 8 hours.
Yeah.
So maybe like maximum 4, like 1 every 2 hours or something. If we have like a hella long line, like when it's buy one, get one free, it might be more,
BOGO.
depending. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just crazy to think about. Because it's not even like, oh, like some people will be like rude or agitated. And that doesn't throw me off because I'm like, you know what? Like sometimes I don't feel like talking either.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like the ones that go overboard. And it was, I think it was yesterday. I don't know. Like the lady asked for extra cheese. We gave her extra cheese.
Yeah.
And
You talked about that.
yeah. And it was just crazy because she was like, that's excessive cheese. I don't even remember how she said
Yeah.
it.
You said that she said it was excessive cheese, and that the girl who made the bowl or who put the cheese was being sarcastic by putting extra cheese when that's what she asked for. Like, what?
Oh, yeah. And then, what is it? What else did she say? Oh, it was just crazy because I literally left for like 30 seconds because I went to go put like the tea bin by the ice so we could fill it up and put more sweet tea.
Yeah.
And I come back and I'm like, oh, hi, like, can I get you anything else? Because it was at the end of the line already. So that's
Yeah.
whenever I bring them up, right? And she did not talk to me. Like, she didn't even look at me. And I was like, what did I do? Like, I was like, I just walked up here.
Oh my gosh, I hate people. Like, if you're in a bad mood, just don't go out. Just order like DoorDash or online pickup or some shit, man. Because clearly you're not in a state of mind to interact with people. That's
And it's just
so upsetting.
It was so funny because she had ordered before, right? In the line when no one was there.
Yeah.
And then she just left, like, without saying anything. So I bagged up her order and I put it on the side because I was like, oh, like, maybe she forgot her card or maybe something happened. Because she didn't tell me what she was doing and she was at the end.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So, like, I left it over there in the back. And then I guess, like, the girl who was putting, like, the food on the bowl, she was like, oh, we also still have your order that you prepared, like, a little while ago. And I remember hearing something along those lines, nicely. So whenever I came back, like, from the tea, I was like, why are we having, like, this confrontation right now? Like, it's not even that she was being rude to me. It's like she didn't acknowledge my presence. And I'm like, I have to get you out of this line. Like, that is my goal. Like, how am I supposed to get you out if you won't even look at me? And I don't know. And then my manager came and he, like, moved me because I guess he saw, like, what was happening or whatever. And I overheard the conversation. And that's whenever she was like, she was being rude, excessive cheese or whatever. But first she started with she was rude. And I was like, I just got here. Like, what am I talking? What am I hearing, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And then, like, she explained it or whatever. And it was like, oh, like, we can remake your bowl for you and all that stuff. And I guess she just wanted to give, like, people a hard time because she didn't want anything out of it. And then I was like, okay, like, would you like me to put your 2 orders in the same bag, right?
Yeah.
To think like, oh, let me help this situation get better, right? Because I know sometimes they're like, oh, you can leave it in separate bags, or like, it's fine, like, you can put it in one or do whatever like is best, right? Whenever they order an online order and like from the store.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't the same thing, I thought, until the end. And then I was like ringing her up for the bowls and stuff. And she was like, I have an online order. And I was like, okay. I was like, what was the name under, right? I don't remember now. And I was like, okay, so it looks like they're actually preparing that for you right now. So they're going to go ahead and bring it out to you, or I can bring it out to you, right? Whichever one you would prefer. And then she didn't say anything about that either. She just paid because I was like, cash or card? And she was like, cash. And I was like, okay. Or no, she was like, card. Sorry, that was someone else.
Okay.
No, I had like 2 people yesterday. One was cash, one was card. I can't remember, right? And I remember she said either one. And then so I rung her up or whatever, and I was like, okay, have a wonderful evening, right? I would throw in wonderful every now and then besides great, because sometimes like I feel like great I use too much. Yeah. And sometimes people just need to hear.
Just add a little spice on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I said that, and she just left her bag there. And I was like, what is happening?
I would have thrown that shit like at her. I'd be like, hey, bitch. Just straight to her face. Be like, there's your fucking food. Now get out of here.
It was just like, what a chain of events, honestly. And then she wanted to get her bag like a few minutes later when I had like a rush of people come in. So it was just there. And I was like, I can't touch it now. Yeah. And so it was just crazy because I didn't want to like take it and then her be like, why are you taking my food? And then like have something else. I just left it there because I was like, I don't know what to do. And then someone else almost took her food and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, that's not your bag. Like, this is your bag right here. Yeah. And then I had another person yesterday. It wasn't as bad though. I already forgot. The other one stuck with me more.
So there's just so much shit going on.
It was only like 2 people, but the other one wasn't as bad and they were nicer at the end. But it was like, it was just crazy. That one where I was like none of these events, like, they don't correlate with what's happening. Like the actions. So I was like, oh, I didn't know how to handle it, honestly. And I just went about my day. And now I'm laughing about it. And I don't even like remember everything. But yesterday I told you. So I was more dramatic with that one. Yeah. But
to make a long story short, don't be an asshole. Be a good person.
It's just crazy to me that some people can like be so demanding. Oh, that was the other day. Some lady was like, get that for me or whatever, but like in a strong voice, like very
not even asking. Like,
yeah, and
can you get that for me? They just straight up said, get that for me.
Yeah. Or it was like, get it, or I don't know, something like that. And I was like,
just authoritative.
Yes, very much. And I think I ignored her.
Yeah, that's an asshole move, honestly. Just in general, there's all these experiences, and it's not even just us. It's everybody. Even our own friends have gone through shit like this, and it's upsetting to hear. It gets me heated. Even though I'm not in that instance or in that situation, even reading about it, like some of our friends will tweet about it, and it will get me so heated that I need to log off of that app because it'll ruin my day if I just read too deep into it. And yeah, just be nicer people.
Yeah.
Honestly, just do good onto others and others will do good onto you. And I wish that you could deny service to people if they start being mean. I with every fiber in my being, I wish we could deny service to people who are assholes.
You just reminded me of something else.
What?
Well, it was the same lady, but she had said, like, thanks for making such a fool out of me. And
Yeah.
That's what I ignored.
Oh my gosh.
I
That
was
shit.
like, what did I do?
That's embarrassing. These are acting full ass adults acting like chill. Thanks for embarrassing me. What do you mean? You're the one who started making a scene.
Yeah, and it's just funny because the people like behind her,
Yeah.
they're like looking at me like I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Oh my.
I guess that's what makes it funny because I'm like, so it's like I'm not interpreting this wrong. Like this is actually what's
Not
happening.
you. It's all that person.
But yeah, you just reminded me when you said, dang, what did you say?
I said with every fiber in my being.
Oh yeah.
I wish that we could deny service to
I don't
customers
know.
who are
You
assholes.
said being, and then it reminded me when she's like, "Thanks for making like such a fool out of me." I don't know. I don't know how those words correlated,
Yeah,
but they did.
Like they rhymed in my head.
They
and
did
it just
in my
connected.
head. Like it made sense. I knew I was forgetting like a
Yeah.
main point that I told you yesterday.
Yeah.
So when you told me that, or when you said that, I was like, "That's what I remembered." Okay, we're
I
off
see.
that topic now. I'm not trying to bully this lady. I was just explaining like what happened.
Yeah, we're at that 55-minute mark.
Oh,
I think it's
that's
about
a long
time.
combo.
Yeah, I think it's about time we wrap it up. In closing, just want to make sure any comments that I, especially me or Marisol, have made throughout that little rant about mean customers, all internal. None of the actions with which I mentioned will ever come to fruition, just to make that clear. But
yeah, the most we might do is just like look at them
yes,
in a mean way. Like that's it.
It's taken a lot of training, a lot of mental training to restrict the anger with which I feel. And now it's impossible for me to go back. I just go into customer service mode the instant anybody is an asshole to me.
Yeah, we're just very dramatic people.
Yeah.
So that's how it comes off here.
This is the stuff that I wish I could do, but I know I can't because you know what? I'm a good person. And I truly believe that. I'm going to continue to be a good person.
I will say.
Even if people treat me like shit, I'm going to brush you off, try and set you on a good path. Hopefully you feel better, buddy. But inside, I'm like, you're lucky I don't kill you right now.
Man, you're crazy. Like, you get mad and you actually get angry, right?
I get furious.
But, like, when this stuff happens to me, I get so calm because I'm like, someone has to be the bigger person. I'm like, someone's got to be the adult here.
I mean, hey, I'm still being the bigger person, but internally, man, I'm so upset. Even today, something was happening today. What happened? Some shit happened, and I was like, there's no way stuff can go more wrong. And I'm scooping the dog's food into their bowls, and then the bowl just flies out of my hand.
Oh my gosh.
And I get so upset. I like pick up the chair. I'm about to break our dining table chair, and I'm like, nope, not today, Julian, not today. And I put the chair back down.
You said this chair did nothing wrong to me.
I sweep up the dog food, and I say, we're gonna end the day off better than this right now. Throw that dog food away, serve my dogs some new food, and we've been chilling. But yes, I was at a breaking point. I don't know why that was the last straw. I was for real about to smash that chair.
No, it
like,
really
we were about to
is
have
the
one less
littlest
chair.
things. Man, where was I gonna sit?
No, it was actually insane. Mom, Dad, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry.
There are still 6 chairs.
There's still 6 chairs, so we're good. But yeah, so let's go ahead and close this episode out. Like we mentioned in today's episode, we do have a Facebook, and like always, we have our Instagram and our Twitter. All 3 of the social media profiles, there is a link, and in that link you can find all of our show links as well as our affiliate links, and then the links to our other social media channels. So make sure to keep up to date with that. Follow us, share, like, spread the word. We want to reach as many people as possible and kind of build a community around podcasting and just living life as a teenager right now, going on their 20s. And so that's the hope. And is there anything else that we have to say? Any other closing statements, babe?
Nah, just thanks for listening to us rant and go from literally so many different topics.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Like, cause I knew that obviously we had to address our biggest fan at the beginning, but the bucket list, which was today's plan, we were gonna go over everything that we did. Is like, well,
did we really do that?
Yeah, we haven't quite achieved everything that we had planned on quite yet.
We did go to the Japanese tea gardens.
We did do that.
We forgot to say
and then
that.
we went to the San Antonio Museum of Art.
Yes, we did.
Oh my god.
Okay, now we're getting to the point. Anyways,
now we get all right. You know what?
We've done some stuff. Okay.
Yeah. We've done some stuff, but yeah. Thanks for listening to us rant. Thanks for joining us as always. Again, like, share, follow, spread the word. If y'all have any advice or any suggestions for future episodes, just DM us or email us. Email's in that link as well that I mentioned. So feel free to do that. But I think that's the end of the episode.
I also think that. Are you ready to say bye?
Yes. All right. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.